Hey everybody, my name is Brittany and happy Valentine's Day. In good old holiday fashion, I wanted to talk about season 1 episode 16 of SpongeBob. I wanted to talk about this episode because I seen it for the first time last year and I was watching it with my sister and I was like, oh, this is a hot mess, it needs to be talked about. I love SpongeBob as a child and I love it even more as an adult. I do not remember this episode airing on TV. I don't know if that's just me not paying attention or if I just missed it somehow. I digress. The episode begins. SpongeBob is walking out of his house. He's frolicking in the middle of the street and he's handing out these hearts. He's throwing the hearts everywhere and he's saying, Happy Valentine's Day, Bikini Bottom. And he's just spreading the love, spreading the joy. Eventually, he walks to his friend Sandy's house and Sandy is kind of like, oh, SpongeBob, I'm nuts for you. And she gives him an acorn. And then SpongeBob says, well, I'm bubbles for you. And I don't know if that was getting flirty because wasn't one time SpongeBob and Sandy getting married, or am I making that up? SpongeBob blows a bubble and Sandy opens her helmet and she eats the bubble, the chocolate bubble. And her and SpongeBob get to talking about Patrick's gift. And SpongeBob asks her something along the lines of, do you think Patrick will like his gift? And it's this gigantic, larger than a house sized heart that's floating in the air, and it's kind of like one of those hot air balloons, if y'all have never seen this episode. I say that because I know some people is not allowed to watch SpongeBob, so y'all can live vicariously through this video. And him and Sandy are talking about it, and Sandy's a part of this plan to get Patrick his gift. So she says to SpongeBob, run by me the plan again. And SpongeBob puts this like news anchorman voice on. Y'all, for no reason my camera was like, overheating, you gotta wait till it cool down. Mind you, I had only been recording for 15 minutes prior and I had to restart the video. Why are we overheating? Let's not be dramatic. Anyways, Sandy is saying, let's go over the plan. He says, boom, me and Patrick are gonna go to the carnival. I'm going to take him on the Ferris wheel. Once we get to the top of the Ferris wheel, that's when you need to pull up with the hot air balloon made out of chocolate. And you need to go to the specific location in the sky for maximum visual contact. SpongeBob is building up this gift to Patrick for the element of surprise, and Patrick is so excited he's thinking it's literally anything. They walk up to the festival and Patrick's like, oh my gosh, you got me a carnival, everybody out. Like, this is private time showing, prime time showing, y'all gotta leave. And SpongeBob's like, hey, like, I didn't do all that. And then Patrick's like, okay, I what is it then? And then SpongeBob gives Patrick a quarter. He's like, oh, it's a quarter. Oh, thank you so much. I love you so much. And SpongeBob's like, it's not the quarter. I need you to take the quarter and get some cotton candy. Oh, it's the cotton candy. Like, SpongeBob's like, it's not the cotton candy, but just go and get it. Like, I'll let you know what your gift is. Yada, yada, yada. He calls Sandy. He's like, hey, where's the gift? And Sandy is kung fu fighting right now because there are scallops, chocolate eating scallops specifically, that is attacking Patrick's gift. So she's having to hi-ya them back. And she's really trying to get to the location that SpongeBob needs her to. SpongeBob tries the hardest that he can. But eventually they get on the Ferris wheel and he's having to call Sandy like, hey, where's the gift? She's like, I'm so sorry, SpongeBob. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Is there a plan B? He's like, plan B? In good improv fashion, he is talking with Patrick. He's like, you know what? Here's your gift. And then Patrick's looking at him like, what does that got to do with me? He's like, it's a handshake. It's a friendly handshake. And then Patrick's like, oh. And Patrick is so disgusted with SpongeBob at this point that he's holding his hand up like this throughout the duration of the rest of their experience at the carnival. To the point where Patrick is trying to talk out his feelings a little bit with SpongeBob, and they're both sitting on a bench. And he's kind of like, it's not that we've been friends for so long. It's just, I know it's the thought that counts. And Patrick is just really trying to come to terms with the fact that SpongeBob gave him a handshake. Because at this point, he does not know what we know. People keep on walking up and interrupting. And he's thinking in his mind, I can only be so patient for so long. First, it's this person walks up, thank you for this box of hearts, this box of chocolate, I love you, SpongeBob. He's like, no problem. Someone walks up, they're like, thank you for this bundle of roses. And then Patrick's kind of getting like, and then I think the straw that broke the camel's back almost was this girl who walked up, was like, thank you for my bike. Can you believe this guy? I only met him this morning. And then one other person walks up, I think trying to ask for directions, and then Patrick crashes out. Pause for a second. How is SpongeBob able to afford all of this working at the Krusty Krab for a dime and a bag of chips every blue moon? I understand this is a cartoon and there's the suspension of disbelief, but it really makes me think about that theory that's been circulating the internet lately, that SpongeBob is low-key rich and has rich parents. And if y'all hadn't heard about it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any evidence for this. It just exists. If you know, you know. If anybody knows, leave it down in the comments for the people who don't. Continuing, Patrick crashes out real bad. He says, Patrick needs love too, and wreaks havoc. He runs up, he's cutting the balloons, he's stomping on the food cards, he's breaking things. There's a scene where there's a bunch of kids and they're around this guy, the mascot, and Heart, and he rips the heart. He's like, I hate you, Heart, I defy you. And the kids are running away and they're crying. It was so bad that a PSA had to be announced talking about like a big pink guy is on the loose. Patrick was acting as a safety hazard. There was this one scene where there was, if y'all have ever been to the fair, it's like a swing set kinda, and it's large. He was trying to pick that up with his anger, strength, and adrenaline and hauled it into the sea. Mind you, people would have died if Patrick possessed such ability. But because that didn't work, obviously, he takes this candy stick, he says, from a person, somebody else, he says, Heart on stick must die. And he breaks it in half and everybody is screaming, everybody is crying, and he's backing people into the corner of the ocean. He's telling SpongeBob, he's threatening him at this point, and he's telling SpongeBob, you broke my heart, now I'm going to break something of yours. Pause. I understand y'all have been friends for a long time, but is that not insane? We could not be friends anymore. Even SpongeBob, which I don't agree with what SpongeBob said, but SpongeBob was saying something like, okay, I might deserve this, but what about all these other people? And Patrick's like, they didn't get me nothing either. And then everybody in fear, because they're backed into the edge of a pier, throws all of their Valentine's gifts. He's like, it's too late. And he starts marching towards them like he's gonna kill them or something. I understand being hurt and upset and crashing out at times, but that is insane in human terms. If someone started acting like that over a Valentine's Day gift, I'm gonna smile and laugh in your face for safety purposes, but I'm blocking you and getting a restraining order. I'm so sorry, friend. Actually, Sandy, in real friend fashion, was able to come through, and she pulled up with the hot air balloon made out of chocolate, and everyone's like, Patrick, turn around, your gift is right there. He's like, I don't care, like, y'all are gonna pay, y'all are gonna face my wrath. And then Sandy's like, hey Patrick, and he turns around, hey Sandy, and then he sees what his gift is. He's like, oh, I love it. He eats it and it like blows up, whatever. And then he starts talking about some, oh SpongeBob, you didn't have to get me anything. Are you kidding me? You backed everybody up in a corner. You ruined several people's Valentine's Day. You cut the balloons. You scared kids. You vandalized. You committed several crimes. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm sure someone has already did an analysis on this episode. I'm not sure, and I didn't look it up. And then you was happy about a quarter. You were happy about cotton candy and the idea that SpongeBob took you to the carnival for Valentine's Day. But the last straw was thinking that he gave you a handshake. That was the last straw. Maybe so, because SpongeBob was hyping it up, but the reaction did not warrant all of that. And then SpongeBob over here saying, I know this is my fault, don't take it out on everybody else. And Patrick is not trying to hear all that. He's saying, y'all didn't get me nothing either. So this anger is deeply rooted in something else, and I'm not willing to psychoanalyze it right now. But then at the same time, There is 50 of y'all and one of Patrick. Jump him. Why? If I was placed in that position, I am not getting back into the corner of the ocean. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I'm jumping in my vehicle and I'm dashing. But I guess also when you're put in a scary situation, there is fight, flight, or freeze. And nobody knew what to do for real. So what do y'all think about everything? What do y'all think about the episode in human terms? And what do y'all think about the episode in cartoon terms? Watching it last year, I thought it was funny, but also I was like, this is an insane reaction because SpongeBob was trying. Patrick didn't know that, but even in not knowing, is that not an insane way to behave? You could be upset about receiving something that you thought was going to be better than what you got or whatever. Your feelings are valid, etc. But he was breaking dishes up in here all night. A funny thing that I found from the episode that I didn't talk about was when SpongeBob was chatting with Patrick and he was saying, oh, it's a surprise. Do you want me to ruin the surprise? And Patrick was like, yes. I thought that was funny because I am the same way. I can appreciate a surprise every now and then, but if you tell me now, I'm anticipating, and I'd rather you just tell me than me thinking in the back of my mind waiting for this. Like, just tell me. Like, that's like, this is you telling me that you have a surprise with a surprise. Now I'm ready for the main event, the main course. I thought that was funny. I related to Patrick in that one regard for this episode. I will say that. Chill out. It's not that serious. You was acting like you and SpongeBob was in a committed situationship. This is how people act after they have relations with each other. Why are we doing all this? Thank you for sitting here with me. Thank you for listening to me and watching this video. Let me know what y'all think about this episode or any other episodes of SpongeBob that you were kind of like, that's crazy. I will see you when I see you, and happy Valentine's Day, or whenever you're seeing this. It could be St. Patrick's Day or whatever. Happy holidays again, I suppose. Peace.